So, in case you didn't know, we offer two anamorphic options, the blue flare anamorphic and the gold flare anamorphic. And today, we're going to talk about it. So throughout this video, I'm going to be sharing a couple of different definitions that relate to anamorphic. And the one you will hear commonly is Cinemascope. Cinemascope is the anamorphic process of compressing your image and uncompressing it in post. So here's an example. Our lenses are 133 squeeze. That's how much compression we're applying to the image because the phone's recording a traditional 16:9 aspect ratio. Now there are a ton of different aspect ratios that you'll see, 266 to 1, 235 to 1, which is the most common. There's a long list. And a lot of times filmmakers like to add the crop bars or crop it in post, but the downside of doing that versus shooting true anamorphic is that true anamorphic retains the height of your image and expands the width of your scene. That's what it's called, Cinemascope. It gives you that wide vista. When you're cropping and in post, you're losing information. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, another characteristic of filming anamorphic is distortion. This is basically seeing the imperfections of the edges of the frame. So when you're looking at a straight line, and if you start to film with an anamorphic lens, you'll see that it starts to bend and starts to bow. I put two poles slightly more inward and slightly more outward so you can see what the distortion is doing. You can see this is not straight, it's starting to bow a little bit. Same thing with this one. So in the center of the frame, you'll still have a more pleasant look, less distortion, but once you go to the edges, start to curve. That's nothing as a defect, that's something that's actually desired. When filming anamorphic, you're looking for the kind of the imperfections of the lens to give a more organic look, and it gives life to the image. Now the third characteristic is flaring, and this is actually where we're going to see the difference between the two lenses that we offer, blue flare versus gold flare. Anamorphic flares are known to be long streaks of light. Once a light source hits it directly or from the side, it gives this character and it gives different colors. It can be magenta, purple tint, blue, warmer tint, neutral colors, gold, you name it. So here's some of the things that you want to keep in mind with our blue flare anamorphic. The lens gives a much brighter sci-fi looking flare when shooting directly into headlights, street lights, and directional lights. Now our blue flare anamorphic kind of caters to a particular genre of filmmaking. You can totally use it for other things, but it kind of fits in the world of sci-fi. So think of J.J. Abrams, those types of films, or those big blockbuster films that have these flares just kind of going over the place whenever a light just hits it. It's a very unique look, and it does cater to that type of filmmaking as well. Now our gold flare anamorphic is one of my favorites. I'm so happy that we have this option. It's a bit more neutral, warms up the image a little bit more, especially like when you have warmer light sources. It's not going to feel sci-fi, it's going to feel more natural, it's going to feel more organic in my opinion. But both are very great options for any type of filmmaking. Definitely for you to experiment, because this is a very unique way of putting anamorphic glass on a phone. I think that's freaking awesome. I'm going to show you guys how to de-squeeze your anamorphic footage, whether you're using your Android or your iPhone and you're not using the Moment app. There's a simple way to do it. It's a little bit of math, so let's jump right into it. So I'm using Final Cut Pro, but you can apply this to any other editing platform that you're using. So let's see, let's first create a new project file. This is what we're going to do here in Final Cut Pro. Now, the first thing that's going to come up, you have your options for resolution. We're going to keep this UHD, so 4K, Ultra 4K. And what we're going to do is take the first number in the resolution, which is the 3840, and we're going to multiply that by 1.33, because 1.33 is the squeeze factor that's being applied to our image when using an anamorphic lens. So we want to have the proper resolution on the horizontal axis. So this is going to create a project file that's going to have the correct resolution for us to de-squeeze in post. So let's do that. So we go 3840 times 1.33, and then there you go, you have your number. So it's 5107. We're not going to use the 0.2, we don't need to use the 0.2. So we're now going to go over here to my editor and then hit custom, and then go to and then type in 5107, and then you remember, since we're doing the horizontal, we want that bigger number. Anamorphic retains the height of your image, so you don't need to do any other cropping, so we're going to keep the 2160. So 2160, and hit OK, and then there we go. The first thing you're going to notice is you're going to see black bars on the side. This is good, this is what we want. And then we're going to go to our x-axis, and it's going to scale this all the way up to 33. This is going to give us the exact frame that we need. Now this looks a little weird because I shot on the native app on the iPhone 12 Pro Max, so it's already in HDR, and we can easily just fix that. Go to color, go to highlights, and just bring this down because this is a standard timeline. And there you have it. That's how you de-squeeze. You can apply that to any anamorphic lens that you're using, 1.33, 1.5, 1.8, 2 times. You get the point. Now this is something I definitely want to test out. I own SLR Magic 133 anamorphic lenses for my Zcam E2F6. Man, that was a mouthful. And it would be cool to stack up these lenses with those anamorphic cinema glass. So let's see what that looks like.
Let's just get out of here.
Well, this wraps it up for this video. Let me know in the comments below which anamorphic lens would you pick, blue or gold, and make sure to check out the links in our shop. And until then, I catch you guys on the next one. Peace.